We're thrilled to have you here. We have got 4 of our wisdom coaches here joining us, here to serve you and answer your questions about what it's like to be a life coach for kids. All of our coaches have different types of businesses, and they're all businesses supporting kids and developing mindset skills to be confident and prepared in life. And we've had some great questions submitted. And of course, you can have a chance to answer some or ask some here as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Karen. She's a director in our company. We do look a little bit alike. She's my twin sister, member of our team. And she put all this event together. And thank you, coaches, for being here. And thank you, attendees, for being here. And Karen, turn it over to you.
Thanks, everyone. I just want to let you know what to expect today. So what we're going to do today is, first of all, thank you for your questions. We had a lot of questions submitted. We've got 4 wisdom coaches here who the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have them each do just a brief introduction, about 5 minutes, about their own journeys and that sort of thing. And then we're going to open it up to the question and answer session. And you can submit a question. You can use the questions tool down at the bottom, but we're going to prioritize the questions based on having the coaches answer things that we usually don't answer as a business, because it really gives them, or will give you, what that perspective is like from a wisdom coach. And the coaches that we've invited come from very, very, very different backgrounds and have very different practices. So you can hear from people who have a variety of ways that they're using wisdom coaching in their life. So one thing to mention as well is that we'll get as many questions in as possible, but what we don't get to, we will follow up afterwards in a different format answering the question. So don't stress out if your question doesn't get answered. And the final thing is we do have a hard stop at the top of the hour because our coaches have clients. It's the afternoon and they have clients to go coach. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to invite wisdom coach Rahima to start first. So I'm going to unmute her and I'm going to spotlight her. Okay, Rahima, you're ready to go.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. Hi, everybody. Thank you all for joining. So my journey in education started, well, my background is in education. I've been in education for 15 years, and it started in South Africa. And I decided to change career paths and do my postgraduate studies in early childhood development. And as I was going to the South African private schools, to the American private schools, I noticed something that kind of got me thinking, I guess you could say. So I did notice that a lot of children, they had difficulty in expressing themselves. They kind of sank into a shell. They shied away from opportunity, and they had a difficult time managing any anxiety. They lacked confidence. They weren't interested in any form of negotiation or group activities. And they just really found it hard to almost manage their emotions. So my training was obviously in different areas of education. So it would be math or English or social studies or science. But then when I noticed this, I thought to myself, why are some children just so opposite to others? And what I realized is that it's really all shaped by experiences. What experiences are we giving them as educators, as parents, as caregivers? And these experiences are key, because what we don't realize is that many times a child's mindset is based on limitations instead of possibilities. So how in the world do we show these children what their possibilities are and help them to understand their limitations? So again, when faced with challenges or disappointments, a lot of kids, they don't have the tools to handle them. So they get down on themselves, they give up, they lash out. And in the process, they develop these limiting belief systems that can actually hold them back for the rest of their lives. And that obviously crushes their self-esteem and self-confidence. So as I was noticing all of this, that's when I started to research curriculums that I thought would help these children, or a new way to actually teach these children about their mindset and about how to use the power of their mind and the power of their thoughts to create that confidence, to create that self-esteem. and I came across Adventures in Wisdom. So as I studied the curriculum, it was a very quick decision to decide whether I wanted to become a wisdom coach. And as I studied the curriculum more and more, what ended up happening is my own personal development journey started as well, which has been absolutely phenomenal for me. And the growth that I've experienced myself personally, as well as the growth in the children that I work with, it's absolutely amazing. So I have been a wisdom coach now for 5 years. Since my time in South Africa, I've now moved back to Canada, and I've been here for 5 years. And that's when I started my work as a wisdom coach. And about 3 years ago, I decided I was a wisdom coach part-time, and now I am a full-time wisdom coach. And the transformation that we see using this curriculum, not only in the child, in the family unit, is unbelievable. And, you know, one of the things that I absolutely love the most is these aha moments and realizations that the kids have when, for example, they realize that they actually talk to themselves through their thoughts in their head, and the realization that they can actually change the thoughts is just huge for them, so huge. And what? I can change the thought to think a better thought? Yes, you actually can. And, you know, being able to help them to change these thinking habits is, you can't put a price on that. You really can't. And, you know, it's wonderful in the school system when we teach them math or English or any of the subjects, but realistically, if they don't understand how their mind works, how are they going to be able to excel in everything else? That's the question I really think that, you know, a lot of us need to ask ourselves. Children need these skills. They need these skills to excel in every area of their life. And you know what is so interesting in all of the families that I've worked with is that once these skills are taught and these children learn how to change their habitual thinking patterns, it is phenomenal how the academics and everything else, whether it's relationship issues, friends, anything, it all falls into place. It all falls into place so beautifully because they understand the power of their mind and the power of their thoughts. And this is what the AIW curriculum teaches them in a way that is fun, in a way that is engaging, in a way that is interesting. And to be able to have a business where this is actually what you do, you transform a child's life. It's really amazing. So now I have my own practice. I do this on a full-time basis, and it has just had a phenomenal impact on my life, not only in my own personal development journey, but to be able to do this as a career, something that I absolutely love, something that I'm so passionate about. And to see these kids and their faces light up is just, it's amazing.
Thank you, Rahima. I really appreciate that. It's just been so wonderful watching your journey as well. So thank you for sharing. Now I'm going to invite Deanna. So I'm going to unmute you, Deanna. And okay, Deanna, we're ready for you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Karen and Renee. I just want to say this program is the most awesome program I've ever got in touch with. Just a little bit about myself. Coming up as a child, I struggled with depression. And it was because my mom was sick and in a coma when I was 13 years old. And for 3 months, it just terrified me. My brother-in-law was actually the biggest influence in my life. He came over and he started taking me to the basketball court. And we started playing basketball. I never knew how to play, but he was like, let's just do something to get this off your mind. So that's how I got into basketball. Got into 7th grade, got started playing on the team. And I was on the team for 5 years, went to college, played for 4 years. And when I came back, I realized that something that I didn't know how to do was the best thing I was able to do to teach children. It became an avenue to teach children because in it I learned discipline. I gained friends that I would never have. I was able to open up and talk to people. I was able to gain more relationships. And I was also able to get over depression. And I always say it was that little thing with air in it, that little spear. You know, it became my best friend, but it changed my life. And with it changing my lives, I wanted it to change other people's lives as well, especially children. Because as a child, I realized how you could have so many things hidden inside of you and can't get it out with the person that doesn't have the right conversation. So that being said, the way I found Adventures in Wisdom, I was in the basketball, excuse me, I was on the basketball court with one of my trainees. And I'm finished with him and I'm like, okay, I'm transitioning from preschool teacher to what? And I'm like in between. So I'm sitting on the basketball court. I'm like, okay, God, what's my purpose? Where do I go from here? And my head is down. I'm sitting on the spear that I call my best friend. And I look in the park. They have this big sign that says, save the children. I'm like, oh, I'm great at that, but I'm already doing that. So what else, what else is there to do? How am I going to do it? Get on Facebook. And there it was, Adventures in Wisdom. Try the story. Within 2 minutes of just listening to Renee tell the story, I was like, wow, this is some awesome stuff. And I was like, okay, how do I start? So I started the program. Actually, I want to talk about this part because I got stuck on this part. I said, I want to do this. This is great information. I love it. But the investment, oh my gosh, the investment. Sometimes we stop right there. And this is exactly what God wants us to do. So then I began to ask God, okay, God, how do I invest in myself to help the way you want me to help? And he goes, ask your dad. I go and I ask my dad. Of course, you don't want to go back and when you're grown and ask your dad for money anymore. But I did anyway, you know, because that's what Adventures in Wisdom teaches us. Go anyway, do it anyway. So I did it anyway. And I go and he's like, oh, you're great at that. You're going to be awesome. Well, when I got the call, I took the test within 24 hours. And he said, I think you're the first person that's ever done this. But the summer prior to, I was teaching the youth all about the mind, you know, how the subconscious mind worked, how the conscious mind worked. And when I read into the program, it blew my mind because I had a different way to teach them, you know, and it was just through the test, you know, just looking through the test, answering the questions. And I'm like, wow, this was some of the things that I was asking the kids. So I've been able to utilize this program. And I always tell people, the program is what I invested. It's not just one thing because everything has helped me. As Rahima has said, it became a personal relationship for me to make me better. It helped me through my divorce, you know, changing my mindset about my divorce, getting through some different things within myself, with my children. So I've been able to utilize it in my family. I've been able to utilize it at church because I'm an elder at church now. I've been a youth minister when I got in, but now I'm an elder. And it's been just so sufficient to be able to use it. Right now we're discussing the three-headed dragon in my new believers class, you know, so just little bits and pieces is just powerful tools for me because of the way that God has my brain. You know, I can come up with anything on the spot when it becomes activities. And that has been my blessing with the workshops at school. When I was going through the process of sitting on the basketball court, I had before then asked my headmaster, could I partner with the school to do the Adventures in Wisdom before I even got started? I'm like, I'm just going to ask him. And I went and he said, oh, that would be great. You've been with us 5 years and they don't have counselors most of the time at private schools. So that's who I've been invested in, the private schools that doesn't have those people to sit down and talk with. But I could be that person to go get that child out of class that's having an issue for that day. So my biggest investment was to do a workshop first to see if I could gain those one-on-ones. So I did workshops, and in the workshops, just the tools. And as Rahima has said, to see a child be able to shift their mind and just using terminology, say, oh, stop, power shift. I need you to power shift. I need you to gain that power and shift that thought, and just saying those words, it makes them stop right in their place. And they'll go like, so what do I need to do now, Miss D? And then we just talk through it, but it opens up conversation that you would not have. And that's why I love this program, because the conversation I wasn't able to have with this child, I can go back now and say, oh, I think I hear a grungy. Are you feeling a grungy? Is there a dragon in your mind? So just the terminology in the school is real big for me. And when it comes to the one-on-ones, I go into the homes of children, because I realize that the Bible says home is where the heart is. Home is where love begins. It's where charity begins. So if I can love this child in their home, I know that I can help their parent, their grandmother. Most of the time, I'm going in with grandmothers who's having to take care of their grandchildren, and they're old in age. And now it's like, I don't have the energy for this. My children are grown, but being able to go to their homes and being able for them not to set that appointment has been mind blowing when it comes to everything about this program. But it has been a blessing in so many ways. Basketball training, church, school, and at home. I've utilized it in every way. And Renee, I thank you for allowing God to use you to come up with this program. And Karen, you do an awesome job as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And ladies, I love reading your stories. So thank you for letting me be a part today.
Thank you so much, Deanna. Golly, my favorite thing to do, I'm the lucky one who gets to interview our wisdom coaches. So I've met all of these amazing people before, but I just get so excited every time. It's my favorite thing to do is talking to you all. And thank you for sharing that. Okay, Jody, you are ready to roll.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I have a little bit of tears of maybe pride from Deanna and Rahima. The what they're feeling, I'm feeling it, and it's inspiring. I've met Rahima in person and I've worked with her, but Deanna is new to me, and thank you so much for sharing that, Deanna. It just reignites what we're doing here. So yes, I'm new. I'm wisdom coach Jody. I basically got my journey started with this very recently. It was about a year ago that I realized I was no longer happy in what I was doing. I was running a business with my husband. It was 17 years of it. We've been very successful at it, but I realized I wanted to do something more with, aligning with what I was interested in, which is basically I found out I thrive on helping people. I have a real empathy for people. And when I came across the Adventures in Wisdom, same thing as the others. I got really excited. So the way I came to it was something similar for me. I have a 12-year-old boy, and he's been through lots of struggles through school. So I was looking for ways to connect with him and to support him. And magically, I came across Adventures in Wisdom. I really have no explanation as to how that came across I'm sure it was Facebook as well, but it must be how they pick up what you're searching. So anyways, as I read, same thing as the other ladies, I read what was offered. I asked for the story right away. I got excited right away. However, for me, I had a lot on my desk that I still needed to clear up. So I believe that was February when I first asked for the story. And I did read it, got excited, but lots was going on for me at the time. So around March is when I felt like I was clear enough to get started. I decided to invest in it and really just go for it. And sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anything. But once I got the curriculum, I couldn't put it down. I got through it and got myself certified by sometime in April, mid-April or so. And once I got there, I really wasn't sure what to do. There's so much information. The curriculum is amazing. Same with me, helped me through a whole ton of stuff, and it helped the people around me. I have a story of my mom having a really hard day, and just sitting her down and going through one of the stories. Her self-talk was off. So we worked through that. And so I do see, even though this is really built for children, it's actually very useful for everyone that might, come into your space. You can use it. So yeah, once I got certified, I guess I got a little bit stuck, overwhelmed maybe by the excitement and what do I do next? So I actually at that time hired a life coach and a life health coach, someone to help me, figure out my next steps, health-wise and business-wise. And I remember hesitating on the cost and decided if I expected others to spend money on me being a coach, I better be ready to do the same. So I worked with someone locally here, and she gave me some good tangible steps on where to go, which opened up things for me to get, started. And like I've shared with these ladies, I literally was sharing with everybody. I was reposting, posts that were coming. Once you're certified, you get brought into the Facebook group. There's an amazing amount of information, the collaboration in there, and the connections. I've made amazing friendships and connections in there. If you're ever feeling lost, you just jump on there and there's someone there. And yeah, so once I got started, I still was stuck. I had family saying, I want to hire you, and I was still unsure. And right at that perfect moment, Renee shared the hire a senior wisdom coach. And they were offering at the time Rahima and Delia, who are here with us today. And I had to figure out which one do I go with? They both sound amazing. They both sound successful. They have, fantastic stories. At the end, I chose Rahima because she lives close to me. And I thought maybe I could connect with her, just even on how close we are. And I was lucky enough to meet her this summer and give her a hug. And that was a lot of fun. But I did hire her. Again, it was a little, do I want to spend this money? But I just knew I needed something to kick me in the pants to keep moving forward. The words I think you use a lot, Renee, is staying in action. And I should have that in a poster, because I believe that if you're in action every day, you can't stop yourself. It just organically happens. So I had my online meetings with Rahima. I believe there was 3, and she gave me a lot. Mostly it was some tangible steps and accountability, which you need sometimes, and the permission to use my instincts. Once she gave me that was it. I took that leap, and I have now worked with 8 kids, 2 of which are in their 3rd session with me. Their parents are probably going to keep me on their 5 and 8, and probably have told me they don't want this to end. So I'm so grateful for that connection. And I have about 5 kids in the works here as well, currently just in the discovery stage and figuring out when to schedule. So yeah, I think overall, I feel like this was the right move for me. And I hope that anyone out there that is considering this, if you love working with kids, if you love helping change their mindset, their positivity, just jump in. It's a lot of fun, and the curriculum has everything you need and then some, and then the forum has all of that and more. So I think that I touched on everything I wanted to. One of my goals, I guess, for this was to reach as many people. I live in a small community. I want to reach as many families as possible in this community, and then beyond. I just think there's no limits here, honestly. So
Thank you, Jody.
yeah, thanks for having me here. Again, honored to be a part of these amazing ladies, and this wisdom coach family has been a lot of fun. So can't wait to see where it goes.
It's been amazing to watch your journey and to see you just accelerate. Like, once you cracked your confidence, you have just exploded. It's just amazing. And also, Jody's a really important part of our community. Even though she's a new coach, she's in there, she shares, she's sharing ideas, asking questions. And so it was natural to invite you. So it's so good to have you here.
Right.
Okay, you're on, Delia.
Okay, thank you so much for the invite in this group. And I think it's one of the first times that I'm able to speak to potential wisdom coaches. I'm just very excited to share about my journey. As Karen mentioned at the beginning, this is a fantastic group, and all four of us wisdom coaches here have a very different, there's similarities, but really different stories to share, which I really hope that you will learn from and get inspired if you are here to become a wisdom coach. So my journey, I have been coaching as a wisdom coach for it's actually this next month is my 7th year anniversary. I'm going on the 8th year. Very excited. How I started is by looking for something that I could help my own daughters. So 7 years ago, I had one of my oldest was studying high school, my youngest was studying middle school, and I noticed all the lack of self-esteem, them becoming less confident, them becoming negative. And honestly, I remembered myself when I was their age and all the struggles that I went through and how difficult it was because we didn't have the support that I was hoping to find for them. I didn't know what kind of support was that I would be able to find for them, but I was really determined to find something. I was already in my own personal development journey that I hadn't started very recently at the time. So maybe my 5 years in my own personal development journey. And believe it or not, I look for something. There's got to be something. I would just go at night, go to bed, and there's got to be something that would help kids. Like, I can't believe it. There's just so much that would help adults. And why isn't there anything that would help children? And what do you know? I just find Adventures in Wisdom with almost the exact words that Renee was, when she was sharing her own journey from the beginning, was like, I couldn't believe. I was almost like, goodness me, is exactly what I thought. I couldn't believe that there's nothing for children, but just for adults. And children need to be coached differently, and because they learn differently and whatnot. And I jumped in. Okay, positive self-talk story sounds amazing. I'm going to get it. I'm going to read it. I read it with my own daughters. So this is, you probably know if you are in this call, that's something that you can download for free. Check it out. It is absolutely wonderful. I read it with my own daughters. I noticed even from that story, for two girls that were fairly in the teenage stage of life, that they were a little bit intrigued, which was a very good sign. It wasn't just me, nagging and lecturing. It was just another way of reaching them and of getting them to realize that there's a choice that we have to be kind to ourselves, to be positive towards ourselves. And obviously I looked closer, like, oh, there's a coaching program here. And I was, I don't know, like, I was working full time. By the way, I am still working full time right now as well, in case you were wondering. But I was like, I wonder if this is something for me. And I asked actually a couple of friends whether what do they think? What do they like most? What do they think I'm good at? And they were like, you got to do something with teaching, something with mentoring, something with coaching. This is stuff that you're good at. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. And I booked the call and to learn more and to apply to become a wisdom coach. I applied, and it didn't take me very long to go through the curriculum, to learn, to study, and then take the test. And after that, I was like, okay, now what? I went through the curriculum with my daughters, which was like really wonderful and very helpful for my own family. I did it for myself. It just changed so much my outlook on life, you guys. Like you said, it's not just what you teach others, is what you learn for yourself. And when you realize that you're a work in progress and you always have, there's always the chance to think differently and to act in a different way and to, start all over in everything that you think about. That was absolutely fantastic. And I continue to learn through, like, I have a coaching session with a client and I'm like, I didn't realize this. I'm just noticing this right now. So our awareness is growing the more we go through this curriculum. So just going back to that's what I mostly love about coaching children, just getting them, planting these seeds at such a young age so that they don't have to unlearn so many things that we had to unlearn as adults. So for them to be able to know that they have this. And my own daughters, again, they really know now. They're young adults, and you won't believe it, but many times we talk about the stories that we read years ago, and they might notice, what one time, and they might just say, hey, aren't you a little bit of a victim Victor right now if I maybe start venting about something or complaining? Like, you still remember that? Oh, yeah, I am. I guess I didn't realize that, because you always, and it's just so great because they keep you straight, right? Or they tell me about positive Pam and negative Nikki. When you know about the Adventures in Wisdom curriculum, it is just some fantastic stories that we remember, because stories are wonderful. Everybody loves stories. Currently, I don't think I've mentioned how I started. I started with a workshop and being in action, like Renee was saying, and Jody previously, was to actually talk to anybody I knew about what I'm up to. Oh, I'm doing this now. By the way, I found this interesting curriculum and I'm doing this courses and I'm able to teach kids. And you would be surprised at how many people are like, wow, actually, oh, do you have a workshop? Do you have something available? Let me know, because I'll share with my communities. And I ended up having a full workshop I think a few months in my coaching practice, because I was just talking to people I knew about this, and everybody was like, all of a sudden somebody was, oh, I know of a space that would take you, and I know some people that would want to come, and I'm coming with my daughters, and my friend is coming with her daughters, and things like that. So it all just grew from there. I currently still have the business part-time. This is what I want for myself and for my life. So that's what I love about being able to, the curriculum is just so flexible, and the business model is so flexible that you can do what works for you, and don't have to define success by anybody else's standards. You just have to do what works for you. And I coach mostly now online kids and teens, hundreds. I've worked with hundreds of them, and I am amazed. My favorite thing is when just that something clicks and a child just gets it, and you're like, goodness me, okay. Done my thing for today as well. It's just so empowering, and I have tears in my eyes when things like that happen with my clients. It is just such a wonderful thing. I think I've covered everything that I was going to say.
Thank you so much
you.
for that overview. I know it took a while to do the introductions, but all of you are touching on things that were some of the questions that came in, which is why we structured kind of the things that we wanted you to talk about. Are you working full-time, part-time, that sort of thing? Because Delia, you have a full-time job and you do coaching part-time as well. So, and that's your choice because it's meets your goals. So what I'm going to do now, thank you all four of you, and then we'll start the Q&A. And what I'd like you all to do is just to raise your hand. Like when I ask a question, raise your hand. I'll call on one or two of you. We'll try to get through as many questions as we can. But like I said, everything we can't answer, we'll follow up with. So, the first question that we had, and again, we're choosing questions that are unique perspectives of coaches as opposed to the questions that we often answer as adventures in wisdom. So we got this question 5 times. So it was a big one. Did you experience fear or doubt when you were just getting started? How did you overcome your worry? So does anybody want to answer that? Okay, Jody, because you're new, you just had it.
I'm afraid to answer. No. Can you ask the question again, just to?
Yeah. Did you experience fear or doubt when you were just getting started? And usually this was around your ability to coach kids. So
Yeah,
because it came in a couple of
definitely.
different 5 different
So
ways. But
my imposter syndrome was high when it came to whether I felt like I was good enough or educated enough or, enough to be a coach for kids. I don't have any formal training, as I mentioned. A lot of the ladies here have formal training. I mean, other than being a mom, I was also a soccer coach for years, which I've told you guys. I've been a team mom, I call myself. I'm often giving advice to the kids or to the parents based on my experiences. I have a almost 13-year-old, but I also have a 21-year-old. So we've been through a lot of stuff together. And I was definitely afraid that I didn't have what it takes. I thought I probably would be okay business side because I've been in business for years for ourselves. But yeah, as for whether I was gonna be a good enough coach, I really wasn't sure. But talking with Rahima helped me realize I actually do have really great instincts when it comes to that, and realizing I get to use those instincts, that I don't have to stick to some script of the curriculum. The curriculum is the guiding force, and it gives us all, the stories, and that, there's, amazing activities and all those things, but there's instincts. Sometimes I switch up what I planned with a kid based on how they've come to me or what a parent maybe has texted me. So yeah, I definitely was afraid, but I'm less so. I often give myself that pep talk. I've got this. I know what I need to know. I've got what I need.
And you're working with so many families, 100%. Okay, Deanna, what would you like to share?
I wasn't afraid to coach, but my biggest thing, I'm not tech savvy. So I'm like, okay, how do I advertise? I'm good at word of mouth. I'm good at, sending an invitation to churches because that's what we're used to. But when I go to the school, how do I introduce myself? So the Business Accelerator helped me a lot in that avenue because I had no clue. And you hear me now say that is my dragon. I am not tech savvy and I am working on that. But it has helped me because I realize when you have it in your heart, the kids tell. So I didn't have to really do anything in school. Everybody was like, you need to come to Miss D's program. So that's how I got a lot. So just showing the love has got me a lot of clients as well. So I always tell people, just start. When you start and your heart starts with you, everything else follows.
Yeah, that's a really good point because so many of our coaches, over 45% of our coaches are actually educators or former educators. And often educators don't have that business experience. So the Business Accelerator you just mentioned is the whole training program about how you get your first 10 clients, how you talk about what you do and everything. So anyone who's not aware of that, that's what Deanna's talking about with the Business Accelerator. And I might pipe in really quickly because I mentioned, that I get to interview the coaches. Well, they inspired me so much that I got certified myself. But I too, felt a little worried because I didn't have any professional training working with kids. I've been a Cub Scout leader and a mother, but the story coaching process, the curriculum guides you step by step. And knowing that all these other different people had had success being a wisdom coach, I knew I could do it too. And it's been phenomenal. So yeah, I can relate. So very common question. Okay, here was another question. Did anybody else want anything? Because I think we'll kind of keep moving. Great. Right. What actions did you take that had the biggest impact on your business? So that was, we had that question 3 times. Delia.
Okay, so like I said, don't wait for things to happen for you kind of thing. Be in action, go. You scared of something. I was at the beginning, just like this, Adelaide. I think a lot of us here don't have, they're not in the education system or a psychologist or a counseling or anything like that. I studied as a parent as well, and I had my fears, and I was like, who am I to do this, and what are people gonna say, and is it, am I not too old to start this thing right now? What is going on? Should I just not do whatever I've been doing, and this is going to be hard, and why am I doing this now, and all those kind of things. Honestly, that is the truth. Like, do I need this right now? Come on. And they're like, no, Delia, this is bigger than you. Stop doing these things. Power shifting, right? Power shifting myself, and also just seeing the impact again, the immediate impact on my own daughters, who were, like, as I said, they were starting high school, and we know when kids start high school how difficult it is, and then middle school, like for my other daughter as well, just noticing that they, like, the stories have impact on them whether they realize it or not. They're just changing because of the stories that I share. Like, no, kids gotta be they got to know about these things. Kids have to have access to this. This is not about you, Delia, being scared to just go out there and talk to people and coach, and being scared that you don't know what you're going to do and what you're going to say, and that kids are not going to like it, or they're not going to learn and stuff like that. This is just way bigger than you. You got to go and do it, because that's important. And when you look through it from this perspective, I think a lot of business coaches would tell you that when you just like, is this about me? Am I that important, or are those kids out there that need this help and support more important than my fears and my my anxiety? So that's how it goes.
Hey, Delia, how about you, Rahima? What's the what actions did you take that had the biggest impact on your business?
I really feel like when I became certified, one thing that was really, really huge for me is just talking about it all the time to whoever would listen, whether it was somebody that had children, somebody that didn't have children, parents, not parents, family members, not family members, whoever it was. Talk about it, talk about what you do. And the thing is that for a lot of parents, it is a struggle. It is a struggle when they see their kids, whether it's with self-confidence or self-esteem, and they don't know how to help them. It's very different when a parent talks to a child and when there is somebody else, for example, a wisdom coach who talks to a child. It's very different to the child. And when you have this curriculum at your fingertips, that everything is, really available to you to teach them about how their mind works and to help them really to understand how to believe in themselves, this is life-changing. So talk about what you do to everybody and everyone. And from there, that's when I really noticed that other people will tell somebody else, who will tell somebody else, who will tell somebody else. And then that is how my first 10 clients came for me. I would say that was huge. I went through different social media routes. I did all of that, but honestly, the majority of my clients came that way, where it was just me talking about what I do and how I do it. And then after you get your first 10, which is laid out for you in the Business Accelerator curriculum as well, which is just has the most amazing resources in it. Then parents start talking amongst themselves, and then it's referrals. Oh, you should take your child here. You should take your child. She did this amazing job. And then it just goes from there. So one thing I think that is really, really important is, and I did this. I practiced about what I did, how I would talk to people, because sometimes you are in your head so much that you don't allow yourself to really, I don't know, express yourself. So
yeah,
just talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Rahima. And I have to add to that, Jody, can you please talk about how you share? Because if you don't, I'm telling.
You tell it. You tell it better,
Well,
Karen. I think you say it better.
all right, so well, I'll tell. So Jody made a post in the Facebook group that's all the coaches are in, the private Facebook group, and she said something about how she talks about her business all the time. And I emailed Jody. I said, well, how do you talk about your business all the time? Because people can get funny about talking about things, right? They get out of their heart and into their head, and then they mess things up. So she said, and I've got her email up because I was sharing it with the coaches before this call started, because we've got a new phrase now at Adventures in Wisdom, thanks to Jody. It's going to be, but she says, the first thing she says, I've started, people always like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I've started a new business. And she leaves at that. And they go, well, what are you doing? And then she says, I beam and gloat about how I'm coaching kids' mindset development, giving them skills to work through managing fears and change. And I absolutely love it. And it's the beaming and gloating. You know, it's coming from the heart that she's got these skills. That's it. And then they want to know more. And in this short time period, eight different family, or 8 kids or 8 families, 5 more coming in. I mean, just because of who she is and who she's being, and not overthinking it, and sharing from the heart. So it's interesting. Every single one of you talked about talking about it. Deanna, you as well. Like, that's your word of mouth. You're comfortable with that, and you were sharing. And it's really important. And the good news is Business Accelerator does give you tools for that. And then we share it in the Facebook group as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next question. We had a lot of variations of this one, and it's about income and money. So what type of income can a coach expect to make? And this is so varied, but before we, answer, do any of the wisdom coaches want to talk about how you charge, or the type of income you make, or the impact on your life financially?
First of all, don't think about it as income. Think about it as an investment to change and transform lives. And I told Renee once, I don't sell, I don't sell a package. I sell the program. And with that, when I'm sitting down with someone and I tell them, after an intake form, this is what this program can do for your child, then they're more apt to invest in the change rather than look at the price. So when you sit down and you show them the program, I always show my prices last, because that's the least important thing to me. I'm here because you thought you needed a wisdom coach. I can help your child. So let's sit down. So I have a 12, 8, 6, and 4 package. And with that, I only go see them once a week, because I've learned that parents are so busy. If you go more than once a week, it's like, well, we can't do it this week. We can't do it this week. But I'm apt about doing it once a week on the same day. So they know that nothing's going to change. They know that if they go to the doctor's appointment, then Misty is coming on Wednesday at 3:00. So when you guys do programs, I think it's important when you're trying to make the money that way. I do the 12 for $150 an hour. And I also do spot coaching. And with spot coaching, I've had parents call me and say, my child is acting up at school. Can you go talk to him? And I charge $75 just to go and talk to the kid and have them go back to class and not at home. It's been helpful to me to have packages to show, because a lot of people say, like me, myself, when I was looking to the program, well, I can't pay this amount, but I can pay this amount. So being able to have a set package and different ways to break that price down, it gives each family a different way to look at it. Well, I can't pay $150, but if you break that up, I can pay this. So when I made my packages, I'm in a rural area, so I had to make sure that I'm not breaking the bank, so my transformations can be affordable. So look at it as an affordable transformation for your child. And like Delia, I still work a full-time job. I do private coaching and I do workshops, because it allows you to do it all one time. And you can, if you get the group of people, price don't matter, because I won't charge $25, but if you have 25 and 50 students, you're still doing good, so don't look at it that way. Look at the investment for the transformations. And when you do it out of your heart and not the money, everybody comes. You don't even have to work that hard for it.
Okay. Does anybody else want to add anything about income or pricing or packaging? Jody?
Yeah. So for me, I'm not necessarily share how much I have made or not, but for me, I was really unsure how to price initially, I was really kind of, held up. Say I'm in a small rural community, same thing. We're always worried about whether you're going to give them what, if people can afford it, and if you're giving them the results, or, if they're seeing value there. But so far, I haven't had anyone really balk at my prices. I did the initial Confidence Kid launch box that was part of that business curriculum, which is I set it up as my first 5 clients. This is the price. After that, it's this price. So I started about $50 per session is how I kind of looked at it. And I felt really comfortable with that. I mean, I do quite a bit with supplies and snacks and stuff with the kids. So make sure you're covering all that. That came from Rahima, was a good idea she gave me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I found, but now that I've already had my first 5, the company or the kids that have come again and again, I've upped the price each time because I'm more experienced. I feel more comfortable doing it, and they're not even questioning it. They have seen the value. They're excited. The kids are begging to come back. So yeah, you always have to consider price. And then for some people, income is a really big piece of this. If you have a way to kind of ease your way in, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time. For me, I had the ability to, have a business running in the background, making us a little bit of money. And so I was able to ease my way in, but there's a way to make money at this for sure. And people see value. They will see the value.
Delia?
Yeah, I just wanted to also mention that I liked what Deanna was saying about, thinking about the transformation and discussing it that way with a parent. And also, I felt at the beginning when I started 7 years ago, it had to be a price that I was comfortable saying it out loud to a parent. If I was to go and say that, oh, it costs $1,000, I would be like, oh my God, I wouldn't be able to say that. But if I started, and like I said, I started with a workshop, right? So there's a lower price point, but I had all of a sudden the workshop absolutely full with, I think, 12 moms and daughters that were coming to the workshop. So it was absolutely, wonderful from that perspective. And I covered my cost of the space at that time. And I was comfortable to mention, the price of the workshop. I think it was maybe 25 at the time. I don't remember exactly. And then little by little, your confidence is going to grow and you will be able to charge a little bit more and a little bit more. Then for me, again, as an example, when COVID came, I offered free coaching in groups for parents, for the kids that were at home, because I was just so, I really wanted to offer something for these kids that were just, in lockdown. So that was the time that I didn't make any money with that. However, it was absolutely fantastic because those people hired me after that when things started to pick up, and they referred me to other parents and so on and so on. And I think somebody else was also mentioned about the power of referral and getting, it relates to income, even though I might not be saying the exact amount, but you are getting like a domino effect after that, because it just grows almost without any effort from your part after you've been doing this for a number of years, right? And they're just coming back and they're, what else do you have? And I have like clients that have gone the entire curriculum. They're coming, what else do you have? Do you have anything new? I'm like, we can do a refresher, or we can do this other program, or it's just so fantastic. It really grows with you, and I mean, I can't be happier for the impact that I'm making, and I think everybody agrees with me here.
Okay, thank you. And I'm just noticing the time. We only have 5 minutes left. Rahima, did you want to say anything about income? I don't want to throw you in.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I am unmuted. One thing that I think is really important is, of course, as your confidence grows, you are more comfortable charging more. But I do feel that, number one, we have to look at the skills that you're teaching are not taught in schools. And this is something that you really have to value what you do. And as you value what you do and who you are, and of course, the way that you deliver it, you have to, just as we teach our students how to believe in themselves, it's that belief that you have to build in yourself as well. And building that belief in yourself and the understanding that, okay, you know what? These are life-changing skills. I can charge, whatever it is, whether it's $100 or $150 or whatever it is per session, whatever you decide on. But at the same time, don't discount what you do. Value yourself and what you are delivering to these children. That is really, really important.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. Renee, we have 2 minutes till the top of the hour. I know our coaches need to go coach kids. So do you want to wrap that part of it up? And I think you and I can stay on a little bit longer because there are a few more questions I think that we could address.
Yeah.
And then
why don't we do a super quick roundtable with our coaches? What advice they would have for someone who's thinking about becoming a wisdom coach? Like super quick, you'll put popcorn. We'll let y'all go because we know y'all need to do, you have coaching, you have clients and stuff. So if you need to pop off, just maybe raise your hand if you need to go first. And then you and I, Karen, can stay on to answer some of the other questions because we can be here longer.
Okay, great. Thanks. Does anybody need to go first?
Who wants to go first? Advice for someone who's thinking about becoming a coach, like Deanna.
As I've been emailed a lot just through inbox, and I've been telling everybody, just start. If you start with your heart, it's going to work out, because the love that you're able to give from what you have on the inside, it pours on the children. And I've gotten to the point to where kids are like, are we having it today? Are we having it today? So the kids themselves, when you believe in yourself and you start with your heart, I'm telling you, there is no sky. I don't say sky's the limit because I've been on a plane and I went through the clouds. So my advice to you is just begin and practice. The first time I did my wisdom coaching after license, when I saw a child in the store and they were crying, I went and I tried to soothe the child with what I had just read. So the more you practice, the better you will become, but you got to start and you got to try.
Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else want to share? Jody.
Yeah, just really quick, again, tapping into the being in action. If you want to build this business, you got to be in action. And like Deanna, yeah, if you love working with kids, really, we're reading stories. It's not hard. We're reading stories and we're doing crafts and activities and touching their hearts. So
and
it
don't
really
be afraid
is about
to be a
that
kid.
emotional, yes, that emotional connection and providing a safe space for them to explore who they are and through their thoughts. Yeah, Delia.
Yeah. So again, really quick as well. If you have it in your heart, like if you feel that this is what you were called to do, if you are here with us and you feel that this is what you want, go ahead and do it. There's no other program, I don't think, that offers this kind of support. First of all, the curriculum to actually teach kids end to end. The business curriculum, so the business side, so many programs only offer the program, you're on your own, go ahead, make a business of yourself. But this one has so much support on the business side, which is just so fantastic and so important. The group, the community where we are all in there, and many, many other coaches is absolutely fantastic. The emails that you're getting from Renee every day to just kind of, power yourself, and you have another day, go do it. And it's just invaluable. So there's no other program out there. So just do it if you do feel that this is in your heart to do. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. We just really appreciate all taking it. Rahima, did you want to say something that's raising a hand, or are you saying bye?
Oh, yeah, no, I just wanted to quickly say that, being part of this community, the support the friendships, everything that is offered to you. It's actually unbelievable. Everything that you need to start your business is available to you. Everything. I don't think you could ask for anything else. And like, like Deanna said, you just have to go for it, and you just have to get started, and you just have to do it. And these children need us. They need that connection. They need to learn these skills. And this is something that is going to be needed always.
Deanna, Rahima, Delia, Jody, thank you so much for your time and sharing your experiences with everyone. We so much appreciate it. And I know y'all have kids to go coach and clients to go see. And thank you so much for just giving and pouring into people who are curious about maybe doing this themselves, and the work that you're doing, the impact you're having on children and families. I'm just so honored. It just tears, get goosebumps and tears in my eyes just hearing the impact that you're having. And just when I have the hardest of hard days, I'll watch some of your interviews and just say, okay, stay in there, Renee. Put on your power shift, put on your power goggles, just like we all do, right? And it's being in action, me as well. And so thank you so much. And Karen and I will stay on and continue answering questions. Of course, those will be on the recording. And thank you so much to all of you for
Bye,
sharing.
everyone.
So we had 3 questions come in about workshops and how do the workshops work. Is it a single topic? So I think that would be a really good one. Do you want me to talk about that? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, go for it if you want to.
Well, yeah, sure.
I can always add to it.
Yeah, so what a workshop usually is a workshop is a one-to-many situation. So you've got a wisdom coach with multiple kids, and it's usually like an hour long, and it focuses on one skill. And it's a really great way to get started when you're newly certified, because you don't have to learn all 27 skills to coach effectively. You can start with just this one topic, like self-talk, for example. That's the free skill book that we give away. And you can do a workshop around self-talk, and it lets kids really experience and learn that first skill. Some of our coaches have parents sit in on the workshop, so the parents see what kids are learning and what the story coaching process is and how it all works. Some don't. We have a very flexible curriculum, so you use it the way that you want to. But workshops are a fantastic way to introduce kids to a concept. And what you do is you focus on a transformation, and it's not a self-talk workshop. It's more about how do you help kids shift when they're down, change their mood, or something like that. That's what parents want to know. And it's also, a lot of our coaches will do themed workshops based on what's happening. So with Halloween coming up, you can do one on, how do you manage fear? Or at Valentine's Day, how do you, do self-love and create and build self-love? So there are all these different ways that you can use workshops. And then workshops often will lead into one-on-one coaching opportunities for parents and kids who want to learn more. So that's how workshops work. Did you want to add anything about that, Renee?
Yeah, just exactly that. I mean, workshops give people in bigger groups an opportunity just to experience what mindset skills and training is all about. And it really is more of a training versus coaching. So our coaches tend to deliver services in 3 different ways. The workshops, which is more of a training, small group coaching could be anywhere from 3 to 6, 8 kids, and then one-on-one coaching as well. So workshops are a wonderful way to build a one-on-one coaching practice or small group coaching practice, but you certainly don't have to do that. Some people they don't like workshops. It's all about creating a business that you love. And if you prefer one-on-one, you can certainly focus on that as well.
Great. Okay, and then somebody else, we actually had 4 questions come in about online coaching, interestingly. And can you effectively coach online? Delia was talking about how she did it during COVID. Yeah. Well, all of our coaches did it during COVID. Right.
All of them did.
Coaching. But Delia's whole business is online now, which lets her serve people across the world. But do you want to talk about online coaching or?
Well, the structure of the curriculum and the way it's designed, it's really engaging. You have the coaching story, discussion questions, activities, and we have different ways we kind of adapt the activities when we're coaching online. With Adventures in Wisdom, it's a coaching license. So our coaches are working live with clients, whether it's in person or online. So it's engaging, and that's what makes it so effective. And a lot of when COVID hit, all of our coaches shifted online if they continued their coaching businesses. And since COVID, now we have people do both. But like Karen mentioned, it opens up the whole world to you. So if you're, say, in the United States and you're wanting your business, you're wanting to coach during the day, if you can coach people in other countries. And if you like coaching online, or I'm sorry, in person, you can work with the homeschooling world. There's a lot of communities that bring in experts to teach on different aspects of child development, mindset skills development, confidence, self-esteem, goal setting, all the things that we cover. So it's very effective online and in person.
Yeah, and I just did my first online coaching session. I've always done one-on-one, I've always done in person, but I had the opportunity to coach someone online, and it really worked. And so, first of all, Adventures in Wisdom, for each of the 27 skill sets, you have a slide set that helps support that. So I was able to share some slides. There are different games you can play while the story is being read. Like, kids can play a little bingo game where they're looking for words. There were all these tips on how to engage. So, for example, I was doing the how your mind shapes your world, and what you can do to shape your mind. So it's that very first skill book, and the activity is building a paper airplane, and kids write their supportive beliefs. They build an airplane, they fly it, and they see their supportive beliefs. The paper airplane flies really well, and then they write up their limiting beliefs, and they clip them on with clothes pegs or clothespins or some kind of a clip. And then the plane doesn't fly when the limiting beliefs kind of drag them down, because the supportive beliefs and the limiting beliefs are working against each other. And what I did there was I had a little video, and I showed how we make the paper airplane, and we just did the video together. So it really worked, and we were able to engage and ask questions and have a really great dialogue. And I was really surprised at how well online coaching actually worked. So yeah, let's see what other questions, because we've had so many questions come in, and we'll just,
Okay.
I think we got another 5 minutes or so. We will follow up with any questions that have come in. Some of them are very situation specific, so we can get back to you specifically about yours. But what we'll do is we'll send some kind of a document, or we'll do something where we get these questions answered.
Well, and part of it too, Karen, I mean, we don't know where people are in their exploration of becoming a wisdom coach. So on our website, adventuresinwisdom.com, up at the top says be a coach. There's a link to an overview. It's about 45 minutes. It's an overview about our service, how it works, working with kids, the curriculum, the skills you teach, the business accelerator, all the marketing, business, and coaching tools, everything that you have, as well as we get into the investment, a savings code to get a discount plus some bonuses. I mean, all of that is right there for you to watch. Comfort of your own home, takes about 45 minutes. If I recommend checking that out, well, actually, number one would be check out the free story if you haven't done that too. Number two would be to watch the overview. And if you feel inspired, you think this is something that's going to help you do your work in the world, complete an application and talk with one of our success coaches so you can map out what your path to becoming a wisdom coach would look like. That's kind of our process, and a lot of your questions will get answered through that process as well.
There's another great question that's just come in on what to, and thank you for that, Renee. This is a really interesting question. She says, I'm noticing more and more schools focusing on social emotional learning competencies. Yes. So they're covering many of the same topics. So curious if that's impacting coaches. And it actually is, in a good way, because
helping them. Yes.
When kids start learning these skills and parents start seeing kids learning about these skills, remember, it's usually in a one-to-many type of a classroom environment. They want more for the kids. And so what a wisdom coach offers is that one-on-one opportunity. And so educating parents about social, emotional well-being, skills, and that sort of thing, which so many parents don't even know about. And so, it's actually helping coaches, not hurting coaches. Did you want to say anything else about that, Renee?
There's a big difference between training and learning something in a classroom versus coaching. Especially when you're working one-on-one with the child. There's information versus transformation, and that is a huge distinction. And even our coaches who do workshops, the workshops are designed to support parents in understanding the impact of mindset skills and how they're used to help develop confidence and self-esteem. But where the transformation really happens is when they're working with children. But actually, I mean, I love seeing the whole social emotional learning movement happening, because children's mental health is in crisis. There's a huge gap in both in children's education and in children's mental health, as far as supporting children with developing these skills, with prevention, in really supporting them in mental wellness. So it's a big part of the conversation. It's fantastic. It's helping normalize what this is, and that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to develop your mindset and support you in being who you were meant to be in the world from children's perspective. So it's a beautiful thing.
Great. And then we had several questions come in about the certification process. So how long did it take to get through the curriculum? How long does it take to get certified? How many times how many tests are there you have to take?
Yeah.
So I think we can just kind of cover that off.
Yeah, I'll give a super quick answer of all of that. You get certified in your own home, on your own time frame, at your own pace. We recommend that you budget about 27 hours or so to go through it, kind of minimum. Go through everything once. There's 27 skill books. Request your test. That's going to take you through all the key learnings, and then that's going to get you certified in using the curriculum. From there, it opens up a world of resources to you. You get access to our private Facebook group, all the marketing business coaching tools, the business accelerator curriculum. We have something called the success map, and that's actually something we just rolled out about a year ago. That is a step-by-step process for our coaches to help them navigate all of these tools and resources we've put in place for them in the business accelerator. And really, so the coaches, when they complete their certification, they know exactly which steps to take. So, the certification process, how long it takes, it's up to you as far as how fast you want to move through it. Most of our coaches take a few weeks. Some go through faster, some go through, it takes them longer. But the main thing is, and you heard all the coaches talk about it, really is about being in action. Go through it. Don't worry about being perfect. Go through it, get certified. You're going to start learning the curriculum at a deeper and deeper level as you prepare your first coaching packages. One thing we train over and over for our coaches is you don't have to be expert in all 27 skills. Start with a coaching package around self-confidence or self-esteem, something that you can start, really getting good at that. Then you add the next package and then the next package, and it helps evolve your learning and your coaching and your confidence, and of course, growing your business too.
Yeah, that's right. And with the certification, you're getting certified first in using in the curriculum. You're getting certified in the curriculum. So you're reviewing the curriculum, and most of the time is spent reading the stories and seeing what's there and seeing what types of skills are being taught. And then the test itself is a confidence builder. It's open book. You use your notes, and it's designed to really just help you think through, all right, well, how might you coach a child in this scenario? What skills might you teach, and that sort of thing. So it's a really fun process as well. So just know that that's what the certification part component is. It's really focused on the curriculum, and the test is a confidence builder. We're not there to trick people or anything like that. Most people will pass the test the first time. If someone doesn't, then they get feedback, and then they redo it. So it's really just designed to help you get across and familiar with the skills and the curriculum. But that real learning comes when you actually start coaching, and you're going to sit down and teach someone how your mind shapes your world, and then you really work through the program and deliver it, and then you learn it at an even deeper level. But it's great. I mean, I've done it myself, so that's why I know. Yeah. Okay, good. Renee, it is 1:15. We should probably go ahead and wrap up, and we'll just have to follow up with some of these other questions, I think, just in another format.
Okay. Yeah, that all sounds great. You've got all the questions then?
I do. I've got questions.
Okay.
If anyone has another question you think about afterwards, feel free to email support@adventuresinwisdom.com. So that's support@adventuresinwisdom.com with your question, and we'll get back to you. But thank you for taking the time for being on this. And Renee, I'll let you wrap up.
Yes, I mean, thank you for taking your time out. I mean, if you're curious about becoming a life coach for kids yourself, and we encourage you to watch that overview. If you feel inspired, complete your application, book your call with a success coach, and explore what's possible for you. Our kids really are waiting for you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.